Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. There's a student of a Rabbi who was with their teacher for very many years, spending all their time absorbing everything that was happening, learning from their teacher in the Hasidic court, and learning how to live and learning how to be, the tradition and everything. And one day they went to see the Rebbe, and the Rebbe refused to look at them. And so puzzled, the student decided there must be something wrong, and a little bit later went back to see the Rebbe, and the Rebbe put a cloth over their face. So the student asked the Rebbe, why is the Rebbe covering his face like a woman getting married? So the Rebbe put off the cloth and asked, are you an apostate? He said, no. Do you have faith? Of course. How long are you going to stay around here? You have already received what you've had to receive. Go find your own way. So the Rebbe gave the student a big hug, and the student left, and for the rest of his life lived nearby, but never came back, becoming a teacher in his own right. And the Rebbe would always say, he is no longer here, but his mind is ever with us. So our parsha this week is the parsha of the construction of the tabernacle of the Mishkan. This is the beginning of that part of the Torah which has so many details in it. This part of the building and that part of the building, and the length and the width and the acacia wood and the gold inside and outside and the hides, all exact, all precise dimensions. The Torah says, exactly as I show you the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all its furnishings, so shall you make it. And the Talmud adds to this, for all generations, making it the same. And so the temples, the first temple and the second temple, and one day the third temple, all according to these dimensions precisely, so that God can dwell among the people. But some of the commentators note that there is a problem with this. All the temples were not actually the same at all. When Solomon built the first temple, the dimensions were different than the ones we read in our parsha. And the altar was completely different than the altar in the portion, and the vessels. And yet, God was also present in that one. And so Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berditchev says, what the Talmud is saying is that every one of us, in every generation, we have to make all of it our own. We have to make it our own. We have to create the dwelling place with our values, with what we believe in. And this is why he says that the Torah uses the word the pattern. Because a pattern is something that can be interpreted infinitely. Moses received a pattern and interpreted it, and so did Solomon. And even us, in our temple right here, Temple Har Zion, in our sanctuary, and in our very own third temple that we all have in our own hearts, we all have to take the pattern what we receive from those before us and understand and figure out how we want to manifest it in our own lives. And how to make it alive for us in our world, in our generation, the dimensions that fit for us, and keep it fresh for who we are. And then one day we give it over, and we have faith that those who come after us will make it look different. In fact, they have to make it look different. It's the only way. And musical Shabbat, this one way of interpreting the tradition and the pattern in our own way, fitting our temple at this moment in time, giving it our lens. As every generation receiving the treasure of Judaism and trying to find that love and devotion for the pattern itself, and prayers that we too can find a path that continues the pattern but still alive and real. We receive it in order to absorb it and then make it our own. And it's also the same for every one of us as individuals. We've all received patterns from the people before us, our parents, our teachers, our mentors. And every day of our lives is given over to trying to make it and absorb it and turn it into our very own, into our reality. And if we didn't do this, if we just continued exactly the same as it was, we'd be apostates. We would believe in a tradition that is completely fixed, that there's no plan, no movement. We would not be living in the same universe as the universe of our Torah, with a cosmic sanctuary filling our hearts and souls with ever new life and ever new spirit and heart and mind. Shabbat Shalom.